Hello there, my name's Jordan Debano. Welcome to my channel if we are meeting for the first time. And if you are looking for inspiring tips and principles and strategies to help you reach your next level of success and tap into your true power, ensure that you subscribe to my channel now. Today, in this video, we're going to be speaking about presence, the importance of presence. It was Tony Robbins that said, presence is your power. It's not merely just being there and existing. It's about truly showing up for yourself, for your family, and the moments that truly matter. Now, this is an important subject to discuss because, you know, as people that are ambitious and that have goals beyond just the 9 to 5 and the general flow of life in looking after ourselves and our family, if we have these goals and these things that are going to stretch us, it's very easy to get involved in, I need to race through my day. I need to race and get everything done because that's success. If I get everything done, then I'm getting closer to my goal. And I know that, I've had that belief for a long time. I still slip into that, mode of my day. I used to really, even in sales, I used to be in this mindset where it's like, the more calls, the better. The more calls, the better. It's like the Kobe Bryant. He would take like a ridiculous amount of shots in the NBA, and he was very much a player. I mean, a fantastic scorer in his own right, but he was like a volume guy. He needed to take a lot of shots to get the points that he had. And again, that's basketball. Here we're talking about all kinds of areas of life. And while it's important to get reps in and to get volume done and quantity, what can start to happen is our quality diminishes. So in today's video, I want to speak about, a very powerful premise, which is that, you know, when you're racing around, okay, you're not actually creating new experiences in your life, new levels of results. You're regurgitating what you've always created. Okay. It was Neal Donald Walsch in the Conversations with God. If you haven't read that book, you've got to go read it. It's fantastic. He's a spiritual teacher, and he actually said, 98% of human activity is a waste of time. It's only 2% that really matters. And when you think about it, when you think about the results that you've gotten in your life, okay, and you were to drill it down to like the top three things that you did, okay, to get that particular result, I'm sure you'd be able to definitively go, yeah, it was this, and it was this, right? And there would have been all these other things that you did that didn't really matter. Okay. But why do we do all of these other things? Why do we get so immersed in that? Well, for me, I know that my misconceptions about, high performance and ascending to my next level of success was like, well, again, if I do more, then I'm going to get closer. But that was like very much a game of hoping. And it's like, yeah, if I do this much, then I'll get here, I'll get more experienced, I'll know, if we go back to sales, I'll know the script better, I'll know the audience that I'm selling to better, even though I've been selling to them for a while. I'll be more slick with the script. And so it's all like process-based stuff, not end result-based stuff. And what I found was I got very skillful. It was very efficient with using all the processes, but like the results, they wouldn't always increase. I'd have months where I'd perform well, and then it would dip, and then the next few months I might come back up and I might go down, but the work rate stayed the same. So it's like, well, work rate, it's important. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can't just do nothing. You got to put in some effort. But if we know that just working hard and ticking and flicking things doesn't work, then why do we do it? Why do we go to it? And I know for me, it was that misconception. If I do more, I will get closer, right? And I know that came from a fear that I took on. when I was in primary school because I did not want to do homework. I hated reading. I could not write that well. It took a long time for me to understand things like maths and all these kinds of things. And I remember my parents always saying, like, you've got to put in the work, you've got to put in the work. And I would get stressed out as a kid, knowing I'm not doing enough. So like I used to be that person. And then, I became the opposite. So, that's a bit of a different conversation about how we compensate for our wounds. We might do that on another episode. But be mindful if you're racing around is just you reacting to your own stress in the background, going, do more because this might not happen, right? That's attachment. We want to let that go and kind of be like, well, hey, I'm cool. I'm cool if this happens or it doesn't happen. I mean, that's true power. Again, that's another conversation that we might do on another episode of getting ideas as I'm talking here. But anyway, so we want to acknowledge that. Are we doing volume because the tension in our life, and when I say tension, the creative tension between our current reality and our vision, that pathway that's opening up, that tension that's drawing up the wisdom and saying, hey, now it's time to put the accelerator down and make more calls and get out there and network with more people, or to go and apply for new jobs, or to go and run an extra couple days a week, whatever your thing is, whatever that goal is, a marathon, a next level target in your business, right? Allow the structure, allow the tension to tell you what to do, okay, rather than your own mind, because our minds are not, as I've said, our rational minds are not a great judge of what our next steps are in creating success that we've never achieved before. It's good at it. It's good at it going for success we've already achieved, but success that we're reaching up for, that new level, it's got no idea. So we know that doing more is either a true response from our structure, or it's coming from us, which is it's like it's fear. It's like, man, I got to do more to make sure that this happens so I don't get the unpreferred result, right? So then it brings up the question, okay, so what do we do instead, right? What do we do instead? And I want to mention a quote, another quote that I was researching today that I thought was so good. It was so profound, and it resonated with me because of my sales background. And it was from Amy Cuddy. She has written a book called Presence, Being Your Boldest Self. I can't remember the subheading, but go check it out. And she said in her book, presence, our presence is what convinces people. Our presence is convincing. And, that is so true. Like you ever been in the room with a salesperson or a leader that just it has a presence about them, and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, who's this? Who's this person? They really have an aura about them. There's something about them, and immediately you're listening, and they might say very little, but everything they say just registers, right? So what I want to add on top of that is when we have presence, we have conviction. We have conviction. It's not just influencing people. Okay, it's not just it's in whatever we're doing. We are in a state of conviction when we're writing emails, when we're talking to our partner, communicating with our kids. If you're a dad watching this, or a mum, um, on sales calls, the conviction behind your voice, if they can't see you, like that's what I want to focus on here, because conviction is so important in our lives when we're looking to create new experiences. If I spoke about this in another video of mine, a couple days back, talking about rising to that next level of success, and I said, the emotions of your next level of success, that those goals that you've never reached, they're subtle. They're subtle, right? And if we aren't present, we can't feel those. We can't get in touch with those. We're just going to feel our stress, and we're going to react to our stress, and we're going to create what the stress has always created. So this is why presence must come first. Presence is so important. Because if we're present, we can get in touch with those subtle emotions, we can feel them, and therefore we can be convincing to people around us and also to ourselves, but we can have conviction, right? We can have conviction in creating that next level of success because we're connected to the right emotions. Okay. So I want you to remember this particular premise. I've written it down here, and it's that, presence hands us the clarity needed to bring our vision to life. Presence hands us the clarity. Okay. If we don't have the clarity in the image, like the image of the vision, the feeling from that vision, those subtle feelings, and even the results, like for a long time in sales, I thought I was clear on the result I wanted. I was not. I was not clear. It's like, just give me one sale and I'll be happy. But it's like that, even that's not clarity. I only wanted that one sale because behind it, I was terrified of being fired. Okay, that was my first sales role. I didn't know that though. When you're stressed, you believe me, if you were reacting to your own stress, all right, when I get into that state, I have no freaking clarity, no idea what's running the show, no idea. It's just like it could be what I actually want. It could be the big bad wolf in the background, the unconscious, the stress that I'm not aware of, but just feeling in my body and reacting to it. Or it could be a goal that I've settled for, even worse, a goal that I've settled for because I haven't connected to my next level of success. I haven't connected to it. Okay. So, you know, presence, us being in the here and now. Okay. And again, like Tony Robbins said, and choosing to show up for ourselves, for the people around us, and most importantly, that next level that we're reaching for. Choosing to show up. Do you know how important that choice is? I can't tell you. Like, when I first heard about choices from William Whitecloud, I talk about Will a lot on my channel, but like when I first heard about choices, I thought, really, just making choices is going to change my life? I don't know about that. I tell you what, guys, it has been 2022, 2023, 2024. And so it's been, nearly 2023, four. Yeah. So nearly 4 years straight. Okay. And I don't plan on missing a day, nearly 4 years straight of making choices every single morning, not missing a day, not missing a day, and being very intentional about it. Feeling the emotion, the subtle emotion of my visions, saying the choice out loud, and really like owning it. Every morning I take like 13 minutes to do it. I tell you what, the difference is incredible. It's incredible, man. It's I was going to say rocket fuel, but I don't even want to say that because it's not rocket fuel, because that's like, that palpable emotional crap that I talk about that we want to avoid, right? It is creative, profound creative fuel for your life to reach that next level. So, presence allows us to make that choice. It gives us that gap, if you will, to make that choice for our next level of success and for ourselves to get there. But, if we're not doing that, what are we in? Well, we might be in speed. It's like speed. Speed is everything, right? That's how I used to be. It's like the more and the faster it happens, the better. The better. I'm loving life if I've got speed. And do you know what? Like at times it's useful, but what happens? I know for me, maybe not for you, but for me, burnout. Burnout, predictable points in the year where I burn out. Summer and autumn, I'm flying. As soon as winter hits and I take a little bit of a break on the weekend because it's cold and I don't want to go outside and get out and about, I crash. I crash. I'm out of the orientation of speed and being pumped up and, having all the coffees and running through my day. Crash. Massive flu, snotty nose. It's gross, right? It's disgusting. The pendulum has swung from speed to slow. Now I need to slow down. Everyone's like, oh, I just need to slow down. Why don't we just drive? Why don't we just drive at a consistent pace for a while? Okay. And again, I'm not against slowing down. Slowing down's important, but if we don't need to speed up so much, knocked out my charger there. I talk with my hands. I'm Italian, right? So, if we don't speed up so much and we're not in a sprint all the time, we're at a pace we can maintain, then there's no need to get sick. There's no need to bring ourselves down from all of that stress. One of my older mentors when I was in that in my sales agency, the call center, Ben Elliott, he would always say, people get into addictive behaviors like drinking too much, watching porn, and all kinds of like really bad shit for your body, overeating, sugary foods, all that, smoking. He said, like, that is the way that a lot of high performance will ease off the pressure to de-stress. They need to do that because otherwise their body's going to do it for them before they get to the addictive behaviors. It's like, man, I've had enough of the high stress. I need to come down for a little bit before I can go back up to rest. And so, if you've got an addictive behavior, let me tell you, mine with overeating, drinking too much, all kinds of bad, like that stuff that really just isn't good for your internal organs and whatever. Whatever your poison is, if that's going on, it's probably because you have an issue with how fast you're flying through your day. Okay. So again, what does speed actually create? It only gives us a chance to create what we know, the same results in what we know. Now, you can create variations of what you know. I know I have. I had a soccer coaching business, a sales job, a call center. I was a rapper full time, all in the same frequency. All in the same frequency. Everything was created the same way. All right. Started off with an almighty struggle, racing, trying to get good really quick. Nothing was about like a true vision. It was all about, identity and me and how I was going to feel when I got the result, and not the actual result. It was how I am. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if it's done from a place of like, I don't want to be this, so what's the opposite? Like, so for the rap stuff, it was like majorly loved versus hated, right? So I didn't want to be hated. I want to be loved. So I kept focusing. I created both. I can tell you that. And so, there was that struggle. Practice. Had a couple hits come out. People loved it. And then, boom, tanked. I remember after my second project, my second album, I tanked and I gave up. And if you have a look at all my other businesses in the past, same pattern, gave up, too tired. Sales jobs, gave up after like 2 years, couldn't hang it, couldn't hack it. So call center, same thing, right? I wasn't present. I wasn't in sync with what I was creating, right? Another discussion, another podcast. In being in sync is so important. I want to talk about that in relation to some other stuff. But today, I just want to ensure that you get the message. If you are present, okay, it's not being present isn't just this new age popular thing to say that makes you look healthy and feel good about yourself. This is a high level creative principle, a high level, manifestation. People who really understand true manifestation, they'll talk about this. It's like you want to be so present that you are one with your next level of success. Yeah, and people do not speak about this enough. People talk about how to get there rather than the structures that are actually going to springboard you there. The structures that are going to get your creative spirit online to help you get there, your natural ability to manifest things into life. This is not just like a random woo-woo thing, right? When we are one with what we're doing and we're one with the emotion of that next level of success, we can really, this is where amazing ideas come. This is why, people like Albert Einstein, they're sitting under the, hang on, was he the toilet or the tree? I can't remember. It was Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein. One was on the toilet and the other was on the tree, whatever it was. This is why they have these moments, because when they're working, right, they're building the tension, they're building the tension, and then they go to the toilet or sit under a tree, an apple falls on their head, or they take a massive, you know what, uh, the drop of the apple, the drop of the other shit. There you go. I said it. But like that's presence there. They're present. So the tension's in play, and then they're present, and then boom, they get the thing. Okay. Why? It's not a coincidence. It's because they got present with what they were creating. They got present with the emotion, and bang, the wisdom comes in. So I want to encourage you to take inventory of your life right now. Are you ticking and flicking? Are you ticking and flicking? Are you going, right, I'm doing this, then I'm doing this, then I'm doing this, then I'm doing this, and then I'm doing this? Okay. I can tell you that, like, everyone's going to fall into that. I do still. I'm talking about this on my channel. I'm talking about this. And I still, every day, without a doubt, I will have probably one, two, more than that. That's a lie. Probably 3 or 4 moments a day where I have to check myself and go, Jordan, you're doing the hasty shit again. You're moving too fast. You're in your achiever. I'm gonna dominate the world bullshit, right? Slow the fuck down. Slow down. Right? I just have to check myself. And it's profound when I do it. It really is. It's like, oh God, that thing I was thinking of doing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In fact, I've got 5 minutes here. I've got 10 minutes. I've got 10 minutes to just be and observe and get present. And it's a game changer, guys. It really is, because the more you can hang out with, again, I'm bringing it back, the vision of your next level of success, the more you're connected to that over where you are, okay, the more likely you will rise and ascend to your true level. Okay. We're going to have discussions about, visions and how we don't allow ourselves at times to really go for the big thing. But for today, I really just want you to have this point on presence, because it will change your life. And so I'll give you 2 things that you can do to get present. If you're thinking, all right, Jordan, great, what can I actually do? Okay. First thing, if you're someone that loves structure, okay, love structure, all right, I want you to implement the Pomodoro technique, right? You've probably heard of this. Trust me, I ignored it after about 10 times. I had heard about it like from 10 different people. I go, I don't need that bullshit. Time management's bullshit. I always thought time management's crap, right? And then one of my mentors, Dr. Linda Bly, she recommended it to me, and she's like, this is a killer structure, when you're wanting to really amplify the tension in what you're creating. So she spoke the right words to get me engaged. So I started using it, which is basically you assign 25 minutes to do something, okay, to take action on something, and then you give yourself a 5 minute break. You do another 25 minutes, 5 minute break. You repeat that cycle 4 times, and you give yourself 15 minutes. I tell you what, guys, the stuff that I've created for my books, for my songs, for my businesses, for the podcast, I'm in a Pomodoro structure right now. I'm allowing myself to go over 25 minutes because I like to talk on this. But to set up the show, to upload the episodes, write everything, always Pomodoro structure. It is a game changer because you're forced to be present. You're forced to be present. And you'll know if you haven't been effective in that time. And that's where, you'll want to tune in and be like, okay, was I focused on the emotion of this creation, or was I focused on my shit, or on my stress? No, I was like, yeah. So it keeps you so accountable. So I'd recommend that you implement that. Get your phone out, set 25 minutes, bang, set an in before you even do that. See, hasty. Before you even set the 25 minutes, set an intention. How do I want to feel when the 25 minutes is done? How do I want to feel? What is the end result of what I'm doing here? What is that emotion, that subtle emotion there? Okay, connect to that. Ground yourself, bang, go in, and you watch. You will create magic in that amount of time. Then once it's done, 5 minutes, allow yourself to have a break, have a coffee, water, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, come back and you're on again. Okay, really, it's a game changer. Now, the second thing that you can do to establish presence, all right, is to use your phone. Okay, use your phone again. Set a timer for however long you want. I would recommend you start off with 5 minutes and you really play all out for the 5 minutes. And all you do is you shut your eyes and you imagine that you are seeing the world for the first time. Your eyes are shut and you're just imagining what it would be like to reclaim your sense of innocence. Okay? Now, all you have to do with this is to start off by you could do it one of two ways. You can either imagine yourself walking through a forest and just imagining that you're looking at everything in a state of awe. And you've really got to play full out with your imagination here if you're going to do that. 5 minutes, you can put on some quiet music as well while that's happening. Or you imagine that your body, your mind, and your body is in front of you and it's draining out the feelings, the thoughts, everything is just sinking out. And what happens is once you're done, all right, you don't have to keep your eyes shut for, the whole 5 minutes. But once you're done, you'll open up your eyes and what you'll notice is the world around you becomes more colorful. You see things that you didn't see. If you're really practicing this full on, you will, you know, you will see the world in a completely different way. And that is a powerful, powerful thing to develop because it will give you an edge that you didn't have before. If you can see things in your usual environment that you wouldn't usually see, it means that you're in the orientation, the state of mind to see things that you wouldn't usually see in your business, in your life, your relationships, so that you can rise up quicker. Because if you're always seeing the same vision, what do you always create? The same thing. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop there. So that's what you can do. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share this video with a friend. If you know that you've got some mate of yours that's rushing around, they've got a goal that they want to ascend to, but it's continued to elude them, and they are looking for high performance tips, for things to really ensure that they get the edge so that they can rise up. Share this video with them because again, these are everything I talk about on my channel. These are things that I not only practice in my business, I practice them everywhere. I give them to my clients. I use it for my songwriting, my books, for literally everything, and it works. It really does. So ensure that you pay it forward if you've enjoyed today. All right, guys. Apart from that, have a great weekend. If you are watching this on a Friday, of course, it's Friday here, and we'll talk next time.